Should I pursue my passion or settle for something sensible? Ugh, maybe passion is overrated. My startup is failing. Should I double down or get out? I'm good at what I do, but is this it? It feels like there should be something more to life. Perhaps you've tackled one or more of these beasts bravely with only bruises to show for it. Maybe you're no closer to the answers than when you started, but certainly not for lack of trying. What if we told you the reason for this is that you haven't learned the way? You've been kicking and punching with no rhyme or reason. To successfully tackle the career beasts, you need Careerate. To begin mastering this martial art, you must understand the 5 forces and how they affect your energy level at work. Each force can either drain or boost your energy on a day-to-day basis. First, Noriku, roughly translated as competence. It's how good you are at your job. Here's the typical range for the impact of competence on your energy level. When you feel competent at your job, you feel a sense of accomplishment and mastery throughout your day, which translates to an energy boost. On the contrary, feeling incompetent can be a huge energy drain. Imagine being stumped when an important deadline is looming. You'd probably stress about letting people down or what your boss might say. Worst case scenario, you might go into a full-on anxiety attack. The second force, kiyomi or interest, refers to how engaged you feel with your work. Say you are an accountant who dreams about making documentary films. You're so bored that at 10 a.m. you start counting down to your lunch break. Boredom like this does feel bad, but it's not nearly as bad as an anxiety attack. This is why the bar that signifies energy drain is not as large as the one showing competence's impact. When you're inherently interested in the tasks at hand, you feel positive and engaged. You might even feel a sense of flow wherein time passes by without you even noticing it. You can even forget to eat or sleep. The third force is ikigai, or purpose, how meaningful your work feels to you. When your work is full of purpose, you feel a deep sense of satisfaction and a corresponding boost in energy. When you hit a rough patch, your sense of purpose may give you the positive energy to press on. On the other hand, when a sense of purpose is missing, you may feel a little empty and wonder, what's the point? Now, outside of having a quarter or midlife crisis, some sense of emptiness may linger in the background, but it's usually not too bothersome. That's why the negative bar is relatively small. Seikaku or personality is the fourth force. How well your job matches your personality can affect your energy level. For example, if you were an introvert, forced to make cold calls day after day, you'd likely be miserable at your job and experience a significant energy drain. A good gauge for how well your job matches your personality is to do this quick thought experiment. Picture your best friend as a fly on the wall where you work, and ask yourself if he or she would be surprised by how you behave. If you start laughing or cringing here, then you probably act the way you do at work in order to cope rather than being who you truly are. When your job matches your personality well, you feel at ease and comfortable, which translates to a small energy boost. Last but not least is nizu, or needs. This one is a little different from the other 4 forces in that it's a total liability. It only has a negative downside, the potential to drain your energy. How is that possible? Let's say you have a need for natural light. If you have an office with a window, you don't think much about it. But the day you're moved to a windowless interior office is the day you start feeling miserable and complaining about your unmet need for natural light to anyone who will listen. You might ask whether the possible ranges or the relative size of the bar for each factor is absolute. They are not. We represent the bars with certain heights in a quantitative way for illustration purposes only. Actually, they are more qualitative and should be thought of as general guidelines. This framework we've nicknamed Careerate is based on thousands of hours I've spent in research and one-on-one coaching. Why don't we look at 2 examples of these factors compiled together for different roles? We'll call them energy profiles. Here's the profile for Doug, who feels like a cog in the machine. While he is highly competent at his job, he is bored and lacking the sense of purpose. Here's a profile of Claire, a burnt-out social worker. While she has a high sense of purpose, she has been banging her head against the wall for so long due to bureaucratic red tape that she doubts her ability to ever make a difference. Her sense of competence has been severely hampered. Her interest has also dwindled over time as she has been forced to take on more administrative tasks due to budget cuts. On top of that, Claire's need for financial security was never met. Do you want to master these 5 forces and maximize your career energy? Welcome to the dojo. Let's begin your training in Careerate.